Fight fans, this is JD at Bvtvnews, and you know I got to give y'all the latest and greatest news in the sport of boxing. With that being said, man, let's talk a little bit about Mr. Errol Spence Jr. And what recently just hit the internet was the fact that he is back in the gym training. Now, I got to admit, man, he's playing with a lot of our emotions because 1 minute he was just getting cataract surgery, now the next minute he's jumping rope in the gym, suggesting that he's back in the gym for his rematch with Terence Crawford. Now, you know, a lot of questions are arising with this. You know, did he really just have cataract surgery, or is he really healing up that quick? Because usually it takes a bit longer than a couple weeks to get back to physical activity after cataract surgery. But, you know, Errol Spence Jr. is definitely, you know, kind of, you know, throwing these little hints out there to the fans through Twitter, IG, you name it, you know, with different things. So it's got a lot of fans questioning, you know, what's really going on. I mean, there's still no official announcement just yet on the rematch. On the other hand, you know, you got Terence Crawford not willing to wait too long for the bout, ready to move on. But let's see what's really going to transpire, because it could very well be that Errol Spence Jr. released this video to show the public that he really is, you know, serious about this rematch and wanting the rematch. You know, undoubtedly, he put this video out to absolutely show the public that he is back in the gym and that he legitimately wants his get back against Terence Crawford. But nonetheless, man, we'll see when we actually get a formal announcement from PBC, Terence Crawford, and Errol Spence Jr. But I gotta admit, man, he really playing with our emotions. We really want something concrete so that we can know, are we gonna get this mega rematch between the two of them? Because I gotta admit, man, even as a Bud supporter and a Bud fan, I also like Errol Spence Jr. And I gotta admit, man, even as a fan of Bud and somebody who was probably rooting for Bud in the fight, I don't really feel like, you know, that had to be the very, very best opposition that Errol Spence Jr. could put up against Terence Crawford. And that is one of the key things that's going to help sell the rematch, is the fact that even Bud supporters, as well as Spence supporters, of course, are all going to feel like, universally, the boxing world is going to feel like Errol Spence Jr. can only do better in the rematch against Bud Crawford. I mean, honestly, the only way you do any worse than that first debacle and that first beatdown that Bud put on Spence is for Spence to get knocked out maybe, the first 3 or 4 rounds. That's the only way you do a little bit worse than what we saw transpire in that ring last year. So, you know, it has a lot of fans, you know, hoping that we get, you know, at least a bit more of a competitive bout. Feeling that, especially if it's above the 147-pound limit, and if they even meet at a catch weight or 154, that it could be a much better bout, because at the end of the day, man, it'll still be highly entertaining. You know, it's reminiscent of a lot of rematches that we've gotten in the sport of boxing, man. And sometimes, you know, the rematch is well worth it, even if you feel like, you know, the first fight, one person dominate the other. Even if you feel like that happened, sometimes a rematch, you know, gives you something totally and completely different than what you saw in the first bout. So let's see what ends up happening when we get a real concrete announcement from Al Heyman at PBC. But nonetheless, man, Errol Spence Jr., man, he sent, you know, shockwaves through the boxing world yet again by tossing out himself training, you know, while everybody's thinking that he's sitting up on bed rest from cataract surgery. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Y'all think that this was strategic by Spence? Do you think that he's really back in the gym? Do you think that he's really healed up from the cataract surgery and he was just late to tell everybody? Let me know what you think in the comments, man. And y'all know this is JD at Bvtvnews, and I got to keep giving y'all the latest and the greatest news in the sport of boxing. With that being said, man, I'll be back at y'all with another one, and I'm out.